There's a reason BYU is in the next one. His name is Nick Emery. Well, he was part of that. 22 points worth. He joins us now in Studio B. Happy St. Patrick's Day, first of all, Nick. And welcome back to Studio B.
Hey, thanks. It's good to be here.
Listen, you were called, and I quote, a true American hero last night by somebody on Twitter. His name is @DanCoco7. He said, this guy on BYU wearing full sleeves is a true American hero. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't know what he means by a true American hero by wearing long sleeves, but hey, I've gotten some weird tweets, but then that's awesome.
What other kind of tweets have you?
Last night, someone was talking about being an assassin or a dragon slayer after Kyle is the dragon, and so I've gotten some weird ones, but obviously awesome tweets.
What was it like last night when the starting backcourt, which has really been the heart of this team, when you guys are clicking, 68 points, and you guys combine to make 27 shots?
You know, that's we're just playing loose right now. We know we have to leave everything out on the line, and to play loose, we knock down shots and are able to finish through plays. And you know, there was a stretch there for a while where UAB really played well, and you know, we fought back. We knew exactly what we needed to do, and I'm just proud of the guys of how we responded to that.
The number one seed in your portion of the bracket, St. Bonaventure, loses before you even take the floor. So at that point, BYU knows we're the highest remaining seed, and if we continue to win, we can be at home until a potential Final Four run in the NIT. So how did that change your attitude going into last night's game?
So we didn't know about that until actually halftime. But, you know, that's obviously a motivation as well, because to play here in the Marriott Center in front of our fans is the greatest thing. And, you know, we didn't have a whole lot of fans last night. I don't know how many, 10,000 plus, but it got loud. You know, those fans, we have dedicated fans, and we're excited that we get another home game against a good ACC team.
Yeah, I thought the UAB kind of ran out of gas there. They made their run, but they had used everything in the tank. And then there were times where it was up and down, and I think you went 2 minutes into what would be like under a media timeout. You got really tired in one particular stretch where I could tell the pace was there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, in the first half, normally there's every 4 minutes there's a timeout, but there's a stretch where I went 7.5, 8 minutes straight.
And it was like fast.
And
right?
It was fast, up and down, and you know, I felt it, and I almost got dizzy. You know, I've never felt that during a game, and Coach Rose was saying something to me. I had no idea what he was saying. And I can
see him yelling. Yeah.
I come out and Coach Rose just smiles and, hey, you know, just take a breather and we'll get you back in.
It worked out. And we're glad that you got a breather. I had a couple people like, is Nick okay? I'm like, I think he'll be all right.
I love that you have no idea what he said, because you're just like, I'm trying to breathe.
I can't hear anything. I'm dizzy. I've been running for 8 minutes. It's madness. Nick Emery with us in Studio B, talking about the NIT win over UAB last night, previewing the game with Virginia Tech tomorrow night. Before we get into the particulars of the Hokies, what was the locker room atmosphere like after the win last night?
You know, we were excited. We were happy that we came out with a win. You know, anytime you get a win in a tournament atmosphere, it's great, because teams are good. You know, UAB is good. They won 26 games, and to get that win is just another confidence boost going into Friday.
Have you guys embraced the NIT we've been talking about? Obviously, there's disappointment associated with not making the NCAA tournament, but have you embraced this opportunity?
Yeah, you know, you got to embrace every game. For me, I'm still young. I'm still a freshman, and you know, every game that we get is just a learning experience. And to play for Kyle, Chase, and Nate means the world. You know, those guys have taught me so much, and you know, we're playing for them.
Dave Rose said that the practices last week maybe weren't the best ones, not knowing what team you're going to play, but then once you found out the opponent, it kind of cranked it back up. What was that like, practicing not knowing who you're going to play, and then, okay, now we have a goal?
You know, it's a different mentality for sure, because you're just hoping that you get into a tournament, and we were hoping to get into the NIT. We knew we weren't going to get into the NCAA, but you know, those two practices, I think, were good too, because we kind of understood that we just need to play. You know, we don't need to have all this stress on us, and you know, I think Monday and Tuesday we had great practices, and it showed last night.
Every player approaches getting over a tough loss differently. So for you personally, how did you kind of remedy getting over that really intense loss to Gonzaga in the semifinals of the WCC tournament?
I guess you just got to understand that Gonzaga is a really, really good team. And I take losses very personally. I think I take it the hardest. But you just got to learn. You just got to learn what you did right and learn what you did wrong, and just focus on what the next task in hand is.
What kind of opportunity did you have Friday night? You have an ACC team coming in here in second round of the tournament. What do you think?
No, Virginia Tech's a really good team, and they play with a lot of confidence, and they're big and athletic. A lot like UAB, they're long, and to get an ACC team here in Provo is huge, and to be able to play them, it's going to be fun and going to be a great atmosphere.
Did at any point when you had your steal last night and a breakaway, did you think, I'm going to dunk this basketball?
I was going to dunk it, but then my foot slipped, and so I just laid it in. And then Kyle said, hey, you could have redeemed yourself right there. And I said, yeah, but I got the 2 points, so that's all that matters.
And there wasn't any hanging on the rim necessary, you know what I mean? That was great. TJ Haas gets back in a couple weeks, and then Eric right after that. What's that going to be like the next couple of weeks when those guys get back?
Yeah, I'm excited. Those guys, I've been best friends with them for a long time now, and we've been writing back and forth, and they're excited to get back. And I hope we keep winning, because then TJ will be able to see the semis and championship in New York, so he'll be back by then. But it's going to be fun when they're back.
We recently wrote Eric Mika and bugged him for something from Rome. And so we're going to write him again, and we might as well throw in your request. Do you want anything from Rome, from Eric?
You want us to put in the
Put in a good word with him?
Put in a good word?
Like a souvenir or
Just
something?
tell him to get ready for when he gets back and has to run again, because I know Eric doesn't like to run, so that's the only good word I could say.
Okay. Fair enough.
What can this tournament – I mean, to me, I always argue the people that are like, I do things for later, for the future. It's like, I do things for now and later, right? So what can this run do for not only this team but next year's team?
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of questions. Hey, are you excited for next year? Get your teammates back, and I'm kind of focused on this year, because I owe it to Kyle and to Chase and to Nate, our seniors, because they have taught me so much, and I'm playing for them. I'm playing for Cougar Nation, and next year is definitely going to be a fun year. I've learned a lot this year to prepare me, and it's just a preparation every game, and you just got to continue to get better.
Nick Emery with us in Studio B. BYU in the second round of the NIT Friday night game against Virginia Tech. What has your brother Jackson said to you, specifically relating to postseason play and now the NIT?
So Jackson's freshman year here at BYU, he actually was in the NIT as well. And so he said, it's still a good tournament. You're going to learn a lot, and just, you can still prove yourselves to be good. And I think that's what I've taken to be as a challenge, and to put that into the guys as well. We're excited, and the NIT is a good tournament. There's a lot of good teams in this that should have been in the NCAA, and this is time just to prove ourselves.
It was fun watching him because he was in like the second row mid-court, so he could get within earshot. Then again, if you can't hear Dave in that moment, maybe you can't hear Dave. And then Kalani Sitake was courtside as well. Are you like seeing those guys ever, when you're inbounding the ball, like, oh, there's Coach Stuckey right there?
Well, Jackson is the loudest yeller I know. There was one time where I let my defender, and I kind of poked the ball behind him, and I heard Jackson out of anybody else, hey, you can't do that. You have to stay in front. You have to have the energy. And I actually heard Jackson over Coach Rose one time, like when I was tired. And so, Jackson in the front row, and then Coach Sitake's awesome, man. He's excited, and he's all about it, and he's talking to you too during the game. He's just telling you, hey, good job, love the way you play, keep it up.
I saw that you guys made a signal for a certain defensive call that was the Y. Was that in honor of the football team, Kalani, or anything?
No, we've actually been doing that all year. It's called shaky. It's our
I haven't noticed
1-3-1 defense, but yeah.
You just gave away the signal. Okay,
that's right.
You're gonna have to change it now.
I know. I think every team knows that now, so it's all right.
Yeah, by now
they have to go through that 1-3-1.
They've all been scouted. We'll end with this. The destination for this team now, talking about embracing the NIT, is one of the most historic venues in all of basketball, Madison Square Garden. So what would it mean for you and this team to get back to New York, even though it's not the NCAA tournament?
This year's been full of ups and downs, and I think we owe it to ourselves. We've had a couple bad losses. I think we've responded well, and we've played well through them. But to make it back to New York, that's our ultimate goal. And you know, we're playing at a pace and playing with energy right now that we can do it, and we're knocking down shots, and you know, it's just a process, but yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Nick, thanks for the time. Great to have you. St. Patrick's Day celebrated. Wear some green. Don't get pinched.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.